Welcome to the Boomer Briefing Podcast, where we help you solve a critical business issue in 20 minutes or less. I'm your host, Jon Hubbard, shareholder and consultant here at Boomer Consulting. And with me today is Deanna Perkins. Deanna, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Awesome. So Deanna is our solutions manager here at Boomer. So what that means is she oversees a lot of our business development efforts and our business development team. So we have a perfect topic for you, Deanna, around packaging, pricing, and naming advisory services. We know this is something firms are really starting to get their arms around more, is taking their advisory services and really making sure they think through the strategies around how to name them, how to package, how to price, all that good stuff. So from your perspective, Deanna, why is it important for firms to kind of carefully think through those three things?
Yeah, no, great question. I guess I would start with just the fact that when you're looking at advisory services, you've got tons of different services that you're offering your clients. Well, how can you figure out how to package those to really get your clients to where they want to be? So where you can do the one-off services and kind of offer those to your clients, when you put them into an actual package, it shows them all the ways that you can help them in one good kind of format. And then from there, it's easy to, price them to make sure that you're pricing for the value that you're offering your clients.
Right. And it's so interesting because firms, they hire and staff and get technologies and get processes in place that bring together a diversity of services, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yet when it comes time to get offerings in front of clients, we often see that they miss those opportunities to package services together,
Yes.
right?
Yes,
And
exactly.
sometimes there's reasons related to that around maybe multiple offices and feeling like they can't collaborate that well, or multiple departments bringing in services across multiple departments could be challenging because of different pricing strategies maybe, or different ways of working with clients,
Yep.
things of that sort. But I think you're hitting on a good point that it's vitally important that firms really start to think about this and strategize around it, because this is what gets it in front of the client.
Yep.
And so where should firms begin? So, there's really no shortage of opportunities firms have. Where should they begin to start to figure out how they actually package, price, and name services?
Yeah, when I think about the three areas of, package pricing and naming, I think it is crucial to really start with the packaging of the services. So getting a team together to really think through what services do we offer in advisory services, and then what packages make the most sense. So we know our clients, we know what they need. So which packages will help get them where they want to go and make sure that they're focused on the right areas. So when I think about those three kind of areas, when you're starting to put information together, I think packaging is the crucial one to start with.
I agree, because when you start to package services together, you start to see opportunities that you didn't see before. You start to
Yes.
ask questions with the clients you didn't see, you weren't asking before. That really kind of becomes the foundation in which everything else starts to evolve from. Deanna, you and I were having a conversation the other day around how packaging of services can be a really seemingly daunting task, right?
Yes. Yep.
And I know you help lead those efforts here internally, because we're working to package our services even more so and evolve those. But as we work with firms as well, people start to panic when we start to say, hey, let's package some services together. People start to panic and think, can we even do that? Is that something that we can even figure out in this session or today? And something you and I have both seen is when firms are given just a little bit of time and structure to brainstorm and come up with ideas of how to package services together, that they really bring forward some amazing options in front of clients. And
Yes. Yep.
so,
I agree.
um, anything you would add on the pricing perspective as firms start to think about, so if you have packaged services in place, what type of questions or what type of thought process should people be going through when it comes to pricing those services?
Yep. No, that's a great question too. I think for sure, it's still getting away from the hour by hour billing that a lot of firms are really working towards getting away from, but it's still a struggle right now. And it's really looking at the value of the package. What are we providing our clients? Where is it going to take them? How is it going to grow them? How is it going to build them and make them better? And so you see what that value is, and then you can price it accordingly to that. And of course, which services are in there, how many of our team members are involved, what softwares are we using, how much work are we putting into this to make sure it's successful for our clients. And so you're able to have all of those good conversations around that, which will then help you really determine what is the value pricing we can put here.
Yeah, so you're talking more about a fixed price that's rooted in value versus a, hey, we're just going to price it per hour and we'll try and keep track of those hours and bill accurately for that.
Yes,
I think
exactly.
that's such a better conversation up front with clients too, to be able to talk about, here's what the price is going to be. Here's what package A cost versus package B versus package C, and kind of seeing the difference. Um, the other reason I like that, Deanna, is it turns a binary question of do you want to work with us or not into a multiple choice
Yep.
question, right? Which is, hey, which option do you want? And maybe it's a little bit of both, but getting away from that hourly. And I was just speaking with the firm earlier this morning where they're doing some new consulting services, but they're still billing by the hour on those consulting services. And they're stressed because of the additional um, complications that that's bringing forward with the client, when in reality, if they were able to scope things out, package services together, and then here's the price for that, they would be better served. Any thoughts on naming? Because we're talking about naming as well. The naming of services. Now, there's obviously 1,000 ways to name services and things of that sort. But when you think about packaging services and potentially naming them, what experience do you have in that?
Yeah, I'd say with naming them, I think a huge driver of that is the clients you're talking to. So what names for each of the packages are going to really align and speak to your clients. So I know some individuals will put things together and they'll say, we have a gold, we have a silver, and we have a bronze package. And here's what the gold package entails, silver and bronze. And maybe that speaks to the client. So it's figuring out, again, what do our packages look like? And then now how are we going to communicate these packages to our clients that they're going to, understand and resonate with?
Yeah. So it's not about getting the name perfect, and
Yep.
it's not about I mean, that's even true for the packages of services. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect, right? It's more about getting things defined, getting it there. And once your client or even your prospect, if you're in the sales conversation, starts calling the packages by name, that's
Yes.
when you know you hit on something, right? It's like,
Yep.
if they're saying, well, I like what's in the bronze, but I also want this from the silver, it's working, right? Like, because the whole point of all of this is to provide a easy, digestible framework in which you and the prospect or you and the client can talk and reference things and make decisions about what you're going to do together. So good advice, Deanna, there. Um, let's see. So we're actually getting close to our time on the podcast here, but let me ask you about next steps. So if someone's sitting there thinking, okay, this has been a good conversation, we know we need to be naming, we know we need to be packaging, and we probably need to evolve our pricing, but where do I start? What's kind of the first best step I could take to move forward? What would you say there?
Yeah, no, that's a great question too. I guess what I would say is finding a good group of individuals within your advisory services that kind of have a holistic picture of everything that's happening with advisory services, and starting again with the packaging. So what, like laying out what are all of the services that we do provide in this area? How do we price those currently? And then figuring out, again, what are our clients asking for? What's keeping them up at night? What could we put together in good packages that will really help them continue to grow and do business better in the future, and then start putting those packages together. So I think it's, finding that a good solid kind of team that would be able to have a holistic picture of everything, and then starting with the packages.
Right. That's excellent advice because most advisory services departments, they are connecting with other departments within the firm. And so it'll end up being a bit of a cross-functional team that can say, yeah, let's put together some packages here. And, the goal is too, is once you get those in place, just get them in front of 3 to 4 clients and see what type of conversation evolves. Right.
Yes. Yep.
And so I love your first step of kind of getting that team in place, creating those packages, and then just getting them out into, the marketplace. So Deanna, that brings us to our time for the podcast. So thank you for being on this episode. For our listeners out there, we release new episodes every Tuesday morning. Each week, we kind of rotate topics anywhere from leadership, technology, talent, process, and growth. But the common theme is that they're all critical to your firm's success. So thanks so much for listening, and please subscribe. Thanks, Deanna.